evening. Welcome everybody to the November 3rd, 2016 meeting of the Falmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. I'll start by asking the public to silence your cell phones if you have not already done so, and introduce everybody on the board. So starting from your left, Ken Foreman, we are expecting, but he was absent, so in case you see him come in, that's who he is. Next in line is TJ Hurry, he's the clerk of the board. I'm Kimberly Beelan, I'm the chair of the board. Next in line is Ed Van Kuren, he's a regular voting member. Paul Murphy's a regular voting member, and Jerry Patamas is an alternate member. Sri Budrow is our zoning administrator, and Drade Geishecker is our recording secretary. The Zoning Board of Appeals is charged with applying the zoning bylaws for the town and considering requests for special permits, variances, and appeals as provided in the bylaws which have been approved by town meeting and the Attorney General's Office for the Commonwealth. Decisions are made through the public hearing process, which is what we're participating in tonight. Our goal is to hear testimony from the applicants and the public and allow full and fair discussion of the project prior to rendering a decision. To begin each hearing, the clerk will read the public announcement of the hearing and present any pertinent information from the files, such as referral from town departments and summarized correspondence. The applicant or the applicant's representative will have 15 minutes to make a presentation. Time may be extended by vote of the board, but we would ask you to stick to 15 minutes tonight because we have a full house. The board will then question the applicant, and then the public will be invited to comment. Public comments should be directed only at the project, so you should refrain from making personal or derogatory statements, but include an opinion in favor or in opposition, or if you have a question, we'll try to get the question answered for you. The chair or I will limit discussion in the interest of time if comments become repetitive. All members of the public wishing to speak should wait to be recognized and should come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. If we think that we've received enough information, we'll close the public hearing and we may decide tonight. If we think that there's more information that we need, we will continue the public hearing to another date and time, and we will provide the date and time tonight so that you know when to appear next. We're just going to take a brief 5-minute break. Hopefully Ken will be here. So. Okay, we're going to proceed with the 5 sitting members who are here, which is obviously more than a quorum. So if you're okay with that, Attorney Ahmed. So the first continuation is number 8316, JJEC Development LLC, 4 Sandwich Road.
Do you want to make a note that Jerry was here?
Oh,
was
and
present?
I would just note, Jerry was here at the first hearing on this.
That's right. Madam Chairman, members of the board, as you know, I'm Bob Ahmed, and I represent the applicant JJEC Development LLC.
Excuse me, sorry, Attorney Ahmed. Could you please refrain from public comment? The microphone isn't for the benefit of you guys, so I will ask Attorney Ahmed to speak up, but the microphone's for the benefit of the viewers at home, so that's why it doesn't amplify here. But, thank you.
Thank you. I'll try to speak up. The initial hearing on this was on September 15th. It was continued to a date early in October. A full quorum wasn't available, so the case was continued until tonight. I believe that the board received the plan for the reuse of this property at 4 Sandwich Road, now a bank, changing it to a Dunkin' Donuts restaurant. I think the board received it very well as far as the site improvements. Some suggestions were made by the board. Some suggestions were made by neighbors. We have submitted revised plans that incorporated those changes. We've removed entirely the U-shaped driveway on the north portion of the property. It shows on this plan, but on the proposed plan, that's gone. We've put in fencing along the western property line as proposed. So I think we've responded fully to the requests that were made. There was concern about traffic volumes and impact on the intersection from this project. So a couple of things have happened that relate to that concern. First, the planning board completed its site plan review and has issued and sent to this board a copy of its favorable decision, which notes in it that they did review the traffic impact analysis and found that it provides safe and efficient access to an off-road site. So to the extent of the planning board's review, they seem comfortable, very comfortable with this project. In addition, Tom Bunker went out to the intersection and did additional survey work. We had represented to the board at the first hearing that there was space for the queuing of 2 to 3 cars to take the left turn off of Sandwich Road onto 28. And it turns out that based on their measurements and as contained in a letter submitted to the board by McMahon Associates, the traffic consultants, there's space to queue at least 4 passenger cars to take that turn before there'd be any impact on the cars coming down Sandwich Road, going past those queued cars to take a right turn towards Falmouth Center. We have submitted today a summary letter from Jason Adams, General Manager of McMahon Associates. He's here tonight, as is Tom Bunker and Eric Iskander, the project manager for the applicant. And his report, which you have probably have had a chance to read it, even though it only came in today, but if not, we can summarize it for you. It notes what I've already said about the queuing, the findings on that, and also reiterates and explains the extremely conservative nature of the report, provides a little bit more information about that, specifically states that the numbers used don't really represent this store because it's based on ITE rates that are applicable based on square footage of a building. This existing bank building happens to be quite large, and the numbers of customers will not approach the ITE rates. And they repeat their conclusions that despite the conservative nature of their report, they find that there'll be minimal impacts to the roadway system. They point out that they feel that the traffic problems, the extent to which traffic on 28 is slow is a matter of volume on 28. And that moving the Dunkin' Donuts from its present location at Driftwood Plaza to just north of the intersection is not going to make a significant difference to that. And because of how slow traffic moves through that area at Falmouth's rush hours, the gap study that they did shows that traffic can get in and off of 28, and they stand by the report that they filed. If there are questions for them, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer. So we hope, based on that, that the board will see fit to allow the special permit for this reuse of the property. I would note that also that the changes that have been made in the lot coverage with respect to taking away pavement, now not only is the lot coverage by the structure smaller, to be smaller than it is now, but also overall lot coverage is actually being reduced by the plan that's proposed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me see if anybody has any questions for you. Jerry?
No, I assume we have the revised plans. I haven't seen them yet.
Yep, they're right in front of you. Yep.
All right.
Paul?
No questions. No questions.
Jay?
No questions.
I'm all set. If we have the plans, then.
Attorney Emmett, I do have just a couple of questions for you. The 4-foot chain link fence in the rear, I think last time you were here, I knew that there were abutters who were present. They were satisfied with the chain link instead of a
Well, we
visual
sent,
fence.
I don't know if any of the abutters are here tonight, and they can, of course, speak to that. We sent the proposed plans to the abutters and told them what we were proposing. We did not hear back. The abutters' concern, we believe, was mainly with trespass, with people crossing through their property to get to what will be the Dunkin' Donuts site. We felt that by putting the chain link fence along the line, but slightly inside the property line, and the arborvitae, or rather Leland cypress, very close to it, that the tree branches would actually grow into and through the fence, and that the fence wouldn't be visible. The nature of the fence, whether it would be a stockade fence or this, is not of concern to the applicant. We'd be happy to do whatever the board thinks is right or the neighbors were to want. We thought this was a good solution.
And then, I think last time we spoke, I know that there was an expressed concern. Mr. Foreman was here, and he had asked if there was any way that you could meet with the town or any town department regarding the traffic offset and the concern
Well,
about
I did in my remarks just now that Mr. Adams did contact the town planning staff. They didn't have any suggestions. They did reiterate that there are long-term plans to make improvements to the intersection, but there was no discussion of incorporating any changes to the intersection in either the site plan review that the planning board issued or the special permit of the Board of Appeals.
Okay, thank you. Sri, do you have anything?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see, public comment, obviously we did have public comment at the last hearing, so I would ask that be kind of limited to what was discussed tonight. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this application? Anyone here who would like to speak in opposition? Anyone here who would just like to speak?
I'm Kathleen Haynes. I live on Main Street, Falmouth. I just would like to address Mr.
To the
If you
board.
could just, address through us and then.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We are concerned, to say that the Dunkin' Donuts in Falmouth are not accessible easily to any of us. I cannot go into any Dunkin' Donut in Falmouth. And we would like to know if there's going to be an automatic door or any way that we're going to be able to get in there easily.
Okay, yep, so, and that's your only concern? All right, so I'll ask Mr. Emmett to just address that.
Thank you. I'm not sure in which forum that question came up earlier in this process, because it's been a few months. But the question was asked and answered, and we advised the town that if there is not already such a door at the bank, Dunkin' Donuts will install it. Very happy to do that.
All right, thank you, Attorney
Thank you,
Hammond.
thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman?
Yes.
We need to ask the people not to block the doorway.
So everybody's welcome to come in. There are a few more chairs, and if you could just not block the doorway, that would be...
Either doorway, either egress.
Either egress. Thank you.
There's a chair right here as well. Somebody can grab.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on this application? All right.
I have a question.
Sure.
If this is updated plans, I don't see the fence.
It's on there.
It's on there?
Yep, it's
Okay.
on the landscape plan.
It's on the landscape? All right.
Yep. All right, so do we want to have some board discussion before we close, or do you feel comfortable closing it?
I feel comfortable closing it.
Okay.
Close it.
Yes, close it.
So does anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to close. Second.
Okay, so that was Ed and Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we should have some discussion, I think, just given the size of this project. TJ, do you want to start us?
Sure. I think we were flying blind a little bit with our previous night that we met regarding this application with the traffic study, but I think everything's been adequately addressed through the planning board and their site plan review. Overall, I think it's a great project, and the applicant's done a good job to address the concerns of the abutters, so I'm in favor of the project.
Ed?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it also, and I think they did an excellent job in the landscaping. Almost overkill, but it's done, so that's good.
Paul?
I'm on board.
Nothing further to add, I concur.
Okay. Yeah, I think the project looks great. Obviously, I know I'll just voice concerns regarding the traffic, and I certainly agree with Ken. I think that based on our experience in living in this area, everybody knows that that intersection and corner can be difficult, especially in the summer. That being said, I think that the site itself is an appropriate location for this use, and I think that, you know, they have a right to develop for their use, and I don't necessarily think, you know, we've been provided this conservative traffic study. There's nothing in the record other than our own experience to suggest that this is going to be a large issue. I think the record actually establishes otherwise, and they've, you know, included competent information and evidence as to why there won't be a traffic concern at that intersection. And I would agree with TJ's sentiment that they've addressed concerns, I think, of our board, of the neighbors very nicely. And I don't think the landscaping's overkill. I think it's really, really nice to have some greenery, so.
It's put there for the abutters more than anything.
Yes, and I think it's a good project.
Yeah.
So on this, I think it probably makes sense. Sari, do you think we should
Draft it?
draft it first, given, and then give Attorney Ament an
Let's see,
opportunity
when is our
to
next hearing?
look
November
over it?
17th? I can get it done, send it to you guys for review, send it to Attorney Ament, and you can vote on it in open meeting on November 17th, if that's okay with the board.
It's okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
This one's a little bit more, or do you want to do, I think, given the amount of findings, and
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yes.
So is there a motion to direct Sari to draft a favorable approval for application number 8316?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, so that was Ed and Jerry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, so that's unanimous.
Madam Chair, is this now a continuation or just an administrative process?
The hearing's
The
closed.
hearing's closed.
So it will
Okay.
be dealt with in open meeting,
Oh, okay.
Yes.
and you will get the review soon.
Okay. Next item on the agenda for our 6 o'clock hearings was another continuation.
No, that's at 6:30. That's posted wrong. It was posted at 6:30, sorry.
Nickerson, you said.
So if you'd like to take the minutes and
Oh,
other
can
stuff
we-
out,
Oh, I was going to say, can we take a little break?
sure, it's up to
Okay,
you.
let's just take a break until 6:30. Okay, welcome back. So we'll start our hearings that start at 6:30 or were noticed for 6:30. I did just want to reference one thing today. We obviously received, or not obviously, but the board received a lot of correspondence and submissions today. I know I didn't have a chance to review. I was at work and at court, and I don't know if everybody else did, but I just want to reiterate the board has a policy that submissions be made 7 days in advance, just because we're volunteer members, we have jobs, and we have other things to do. So if you submitted something today, we may not have reviewed it, and I would just reiterate that we have a 7-day policy. So actually, I think we're going to have a motion to take a couple out of order.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion to take application 100-16 out of order.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so that was TJ and Ed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Okay. So this is application number 116, Sure Board.
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that Sherburne Hotel Management Group, Inc. of Montreal, Canada, filed an appeal with the Falmouth Town Clerk pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Sections 8 and 15, and 240-202 of the Code of Falmouth, appealing the Building Commissioner's determination that the subject lots were held in common ownership and are not protected under Section 240-66C of the Falmouth zoning bylaw on subject properties located on Broken Bow Lane, T-Ticket, Massachusetts. And there's a correspondence in the file dated October 26th from the applicant's representation, Attorney Kirk, requesting to continue to December 1st, 2016.
Is there a motion to that effect?
Make a motion, continue it,
Second?
116.
I'll second.
December 1st?
December 1st at 6:30, or 6:30 here in Town Hall.
December 1st, excuse me, I'm sorry. 6:30, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that was Ed's motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Jerry, you just can't second because now the regular voting members
Oh,
are
okay.
present. Yep.
I'll second that.
Okay, so thanks, Paul. So that was Ed and Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there opposed? None. Okay. And then there was another agenda item, number 10116.
Yes, I'd like to make the motion to take application 101-16 out of order.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so that was TJ and Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that the estate of John N. Niet of Bourne, Massachusetts, filed an appeal with the Falmouth Town Clerk pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Section 8 and 15, and 240-202 of the Code of Falmouth, appealing the Building Commissioner's determination that the subject lots were held in common ownership and are not protected under Section 240-66C of the Falmouth zoning bylaw on subject properties located on Broken Bow Lane, T-Ticket, Massachusetts. And again, there is correspondence in the file dated October 26, 2016 from the applicant's attorney, representation, Attorney Kirk, requesting that the application be continued to December 1st, 2016.
is there a motion to continue this?
So moved.
Oh, Ken got in there. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so that was Ken and Ed to continue the hearing to December 1st at 6:30 here at Town Hall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That didn't get rid of anybody? We thought maybe it would. All right, so next on the agenda is number 6316, and this is Nickerson Street LLC, 0 East Falmouth Highway, East Falmouth. This has been opened. There's been no testimony to date, so sitting on it will be the regular voting members. Good evening.
I actually have to read in the referrals. We haven't done that yet. All right, from the building department, no comment. From engineering, the application was reviewed only for impacts to public right-of-way and public utilities. Central Ave is a public right-of-way in the area, East Falmouth Highway is a state right-of-way in this area. Proposed driveway alterations in Central Ave will require filing a permit with the engineering division. Any connections or alterations to public utilities would require permission from the appropriate town department. Project must not direct any stormwater runoff onto public property, abutters, or rights-of-way. They recommend dry wells for the proposed building roofs. No tree clearing for site distance or stormwater calculations were provided. Both of those pieces of information, in addition to grading, will be required for the driveway permit application. From Marine Environmental Services, no comment. From Conservation, it's critical that all drainage contained on property away from the East Falmouth Highway as drainage runs toward the wetlands. From the Fire Department, no comment. And from Planning, no comment. I should also note that
Thank you.
we've received the planning board decision.
Okay, now
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for on this. My name is Steve McKenzie, and I represent Nickerson Street LLC. With me tonight is Dan McComb, who's principal of Nickerson Street LLC. Our engineer, John Doyle, happens to be in California, so to the extent that you might have any engineering questions, Dan or I would have to try to address those to the best that we're able to do so, not being engineers. But I think we should go. We're here tonight seeking a special permit under 240-5185 for the construction of 2 duplex condominium dwellings, residential dwellings. By way of background, this is lot 1 of a 4-lot division of land. The 3 other lots run along easterly along East Falmouth Highway. All the lots have frontage on each Falmouth Highway. Additionally, lot 1 has frontage on Central Ave. The lots do not access through the frontage. They access through a 20-foot driveway easement that was approved by the planning board in 1984. So that's where we're going to be coming in. As part of this request, we've also widened this access to make the access even easier and easier for fire and safety apparatus. This is a flat, vacant parcel of land, a little over 33,000 square feet. It has 2 zoning districts. One is a business zoning district that has a little shy of 11,000 square feet, and the remaining 22,000 plus square feet is in an agricultural zoning district. We're asking for a special permit to construct the 4 units. All the units and the structures will be located within the Business 3 district. The existing lot coverage is 5.68% right now. As I said, the lot's vacant, but the common driveway easement does run across this property. Our proposed lot coverage by structures is 10.8%, and structures, paving, and parking is 36.5%, both of which are significantly less than what would be allowable within the 2 districts. I'm going to quickly go over to the design of the property to show how we've set this up. If you drive by that area, there's a large canopy of trees that runs along the East Falmouth Highway and Central Ave. We've designed the property, the development, to keep the units as far away from Route 28 and Central Ave, so that we can retain that canopy of trees for several reasons: to keep the noise down from the units, from travel going down those 2 roads, because they're more major roads. So we wanted to keep these as far away as possible. We also wanted to keep this so that we would reduce lighting that comes off this development onto these 2 properties, and also to keep the parking away. If you put it on this side and put the units this way, then the parking area would be close to the next house. This is a 4-lot division. Lot 2 and 3 have houses on them. Lot 4 is still vacant, and at some point they'll have some conservation issues, but they'll try to get that developed. Each of the units will have a lamp post in the front, and that'll be the only lighting on the property. Under the table of parking requirements, we're required to have 8 spaces. We've provided 9. One of the things we did is we changed the parking around and put the space that's closest over here and made that a handicap accessible spot. It'll be labeled as a guest spot, but in case a unit owner or a guest needs that handicap accessibility, we've increased the size of that 1 space to make it handicap accessible. As far as traffic and trip generation, if this was a by right business use within this area, we'd have significant traffic. But with a residential condominium, we're going to put a little over 3.5 trips per day per unit, or a little over 13 trips in total, which is significantly less than it would have been by right. So there's very little traffic impact coming out of this 4-unit development. There were some discussions in the referrals about the drainage and the runoff. Again, we carefully designed this to handle all of the runoff and keep everything on the site. If you look on the driveway that's coming up, there are 2 areas of catch basins. Some of the runoff from the driveway and parking area will run this way into this catch basin. The remaining will come down from this driveway into this catch basin area here. And we've also recently added the drainage swale coming off the entranceway. We just got, as TJ noted, the site plan review approval Tuesday night from the planning board. The planning board approved it. The only two conditions were that we build it as we've designed it, and that we put some signage out in the front, mostly for fire and safety. We'll put a sign out front showing addresses, everything else. Those are the only two conditions. There was some discussion in the referrals too about a sidewalk, and the planning board agreed with us that constructing the sidewalk down this side of Central Ave really wasn't necessary. Each of these lots has direct access to the sidewalk that's on East Falmouth Highway. That sidewalk runs from Central Ave all the way up to Seacoast Shores Boulevard. There's a crosswalk right here, and then this sidewalk on this side of Central Ave runs all the way down to Menard Road, so some 7,000 feet. There's no other sidewalk on this side of the street, and the only people who would access this would be the folks in these 4 units. It's a considerable expense to construct that, go through all the permitting and approvals. So what we've done is we've added a path from this driveway over to the sidewalk, so then they can connect to the sidewalk crosswalk here and come across. We figured that was a much safer way, and it seemed wholly unnecessary, and the planning board agreed with us to not have to require us to construct the sidewalk. And I think that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions. Oh, one other question. The planning board in its capacity as the design review committee now asks us to dress up the front of the units a little bit. So what we've done is we've added a canopy across the front entrance to cover these. They weren't on the original plans. It was something that we just did to go through the site plan review approval because, as you know, the planning board now operates as a design review committee. So trying to be brief. I know you have a long night ahead of you, and we're here happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Jerry?
No questions.
Paul?
No questions.
Okay. Ethan?
No questions.
Ken? Oh, excuse me, we're just having board questions, and then we'll open it to public comment.
So you meet all the setback and dimensional requirements
Yes, sir.
and lot coverage?
Yeah, lot coverage is considerably below what it could be. We're at 10.8. Permittable lot coverage in this would be 35% in the B3 by structures and 65% by paving and parking. We have no structures in the AGB district, so we're about 25% less than we could have been by structures and a full 30% less by structures, paving and parking.
So I see a bunch of large, what look like, what are these? These trees that you are planting, Leland, are they Leland cypress?
Have another coffee, Steve.
I was going to ask a little more about the landscaping.
Sure. I think we're going to open this up. This doesn't seem to be a very good angle. Okay. Yeah. What we've added in on the landscaping is we're going to keep the large canopy that's out there.
But is the rest of that area just grassed?
This is going to be grass, this area here, and then these are the large trees that are going to be put in.
Yeah.
We're going to put in a bunch of trees along this side too. There's a fence and some other arborvitae's on there, but we're going to increase the buffering between us and the neighboring single-family home.
And what about trash? How's that being dealt with?
Same as anybody else, a municipal pickup. So we're not going to have a dumpster.
No
on site.
dumpster?
No dumpster. And it's the same for the folks that get their pickup down the street.
Okay. I guess for now, I'm good.
Okay, you said, I think when you were commenting, that there's a 20-foot wide easement and that you're going to be widening that? Are you widening what's currently constructed, the 11-foot?
Right. It's a 20-foot wide easement, but it's actually paved 11 feet. And in the first part, if you look on the site plan, between Central Ave and where we come in for our 20-foot drive coming in here, we're widening this to 18 feet, as much as we can get between the fence and the building wall that's out here. So that was agreeable with engineering, that was satisfactory, and that's about as wide as we can pave that. And so we're going to make it as big as possible in the beginning, right up to turn off to come into the condominium development.
Okay. What you just said brought me into another question, condominium form of ownership, master deed declaration.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And one of the things with the parking is we're going to have it in the master deed that nobody can park in this driveway, so that it won't impede anybody coming in or any fire and safety apparatus.
Has this been reviewed by the fire department? Well, I guess we got the
Yes,
referral.
you have a referral.
And no issues with as far as
No.
turnaround or anything like that? Okay. Did you submit those updated landscape plans to our files?
This is the same landscape plan that was always there. The only thing I've added on to this landscape plan was the walkway.
We show a garage on ours.
We
Oh,
show a
that's right.
garage and we don't
Oh.
show the trees along the...
That's right, I'll be happy to submit one, take
Okay.
the garages off. The garages were removed.
So the garage has been
The
removed?
garage has been removed.
Okay, that was another question. And then the 6 units per acre, you satisfy that?
Yes, we do. Because we have 33,474, and at 4 units, we're less than the 6 units per acre for calculated density.
Okay, I just didn't do the calculation, so I wanted to confirm that. All right. Sari, do you have any questions?
Steve, there's no dumpster, and it's going to be picked up at the roadside. Will each individual unit have trash barrels, and is there a safe place to put them? And they're going to be responsible for putting them out at the street away from that garden swale?
Exactly. It's the same as the 2 houses that are behind us. They have to walk them out and put them out there and bring them back.
So there's no garage or any place like that for these trash barrels to be stored, and there's not going to be a...
No, they can
A
be
bin
stored
or anything?
outside on either side of their deck, and there's also a full basement
Okay,
in each one of these.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Sari.
And the number of bedrooms on site total?
It's, total is 8, 2 bedrooms each, 2
Thank you.
bedrooms, 1.5 baths.
Thank you.
Okay, is everybody also have questions for now?
Well, I'm wondering why you opted for the no dumpster. Because I think Sari brings up a good point about the fact that there really isn't a garage. There's no good place for the residents to keep their trash.
My name is Dan McClone, for record. I'm part of the developer with this project. We really didn't, we figured that if we're putting this together as an association, that would be something that the association would decide on if they wanted to add an expense to their dues. We didn't think as the developer it would be our place to put it in, in without having whoever's involved more say for them. If it became an issue, I'm sure, they'd have to resolve it amongst the, parties.
Okay, I think, our concern is just the impact on the abutters.
The impact on what?
Abutters, if the trash
Okay.
is not adequately
I'm
taken
sure,
care of.
they're going to be as responsible for their trash as the neighbor, so to say.
Well, it's a little higher density, that's the issue. But, okay,
Okay.
gave me the justification.
One thing, Dr. Foreman, if the board finds, or if we find that there are issues with that, we could come back and ask for administrative approval, or something to add a dumpster over this area, so it would still be screened from the street, and then we would put adequate screening around it if that functioned better than having the municipal pick up, and then it would just be an expense of the condominium.
What's that for now?
For now.
Okay, let's see if there's public comment. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Is there anyone here just to speak? We don't know yet. Okay, sure. Oh, so you just have to go up to the podium and state your name and your address.
I'm just concerned because I live in
You have
Squib,
to, yep, you have to state your name and your address.
Mary Guerra, 3 Squibnocket Drive, and I live, the house is here, the house right across the street is in a butter too, and that's for sale. It's a one-family cape. There are 2 dwellings. How many units are in the dwellings?
Oh, so just
So
direct
there's
your,
four?
excuse me,
Oh,
direct your questions to me, and then we'll get them
Oh, I'm
answered.
sorry.
Yep.
This is my first time doing
Yep,
this.
understood.
Okay, there are 2 dwellings, and there are 2 units in each dwelling? so
There's a total of 4 dwelling units, each with 2 bedrooms.
Okay, Okay.
in two structures.
Are these going to be individually owned?
Yes,
So they're going to sell them to people, potential buyers, is that what it is? So there's going to be,
Yes.
yes, that's the.
okay, okay. Well, I'm just reading here from asking different people, where is the road going to be? Was that explained?
Yes, so you can see the
Yeah.
plan, and the plans have been
I
available
know.
as well
I would
at
have to go over and look because it,
our office, the zoning board.
yeah. And then hydrants, utilities, and catch basins at
All
the end
that's
of the
been
driveway,
reviewed.
those are all,
All that's been reviewed by the engineering department, and that's what the referral's for.
okay.
And the fire department's weighed in on
Is
this.
this like a condominium complex?
Yes.
And they're going to be like, I mean, I understand condominium, how you have, you all get together and you have the grass done, is that the way it's going to work?
Yes, that's what they just testified to.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you have any more questions?
No,
Oh, if you're going to ask questions, you just have to stand up and provide your name and address for the record. Thank you.
My name's Steve Guerra, 3 Scribner's Drive, East Falmouth. I think the concern we had was because what happened was, we got a feedback that this was going to be sold, and multiple people would be getting into these, like an apartment-type complex, and not a condominium-type complex.
And it was like business, it was like a business, was building these.
But this is not going to be an apartment-type complex. These are going to be straight condominiums with an association. That's the way it's going to work.
That's what he just said, but we can ask about the intent as to ownership as well.
Okay, it'll be individual ownerships of each one of those.
I will ask.
Okay, I think that's fine. It looks pretty decent to me.
Huh?
They're worried about being an apartment complex. It's not going to be that. It's going to be kind of nice, right?
Well,
I just don't, I'll ask Mr. McKenzie. No, I'll have him, no, you're finished with your questions for me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So you can take a seat and Mr. McKenzie will ask him that question. Sorry, yes.
As well, and talk about any rental units for the master deeds when you do your
Yeah,
findings.
that was a question I
Yeah.
had.
The intent is that each of the units will be sold to owners, and then there'll be a condominium association, and that each of the unit owners will then chip in, and they'll take care as a group and maintain the place. With respect to the hydrant, there's a hydrant right on the corner, as shown on the plan. It's pretty visible, so from a fire standpoint, you couldn't get a hydrant much closer.
And do you know if there's going to be any provision in the master deed regarding rental of the units?
We would be agreeable to a similar restriction that we've done on others, that they wouldn't be time-shared or rented out for less than 4 months or something to that effect.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, this is not really a location that sets itself up for walking down to the beach. It's 7,000 or 8,000 feet down Central Ave before you get to Minot Beach. It's kind of a long walk,
And the intent is to build and sell?
build and sell.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak on this? Yeah.
Hello, Sean Precourt. I live directly adjacent to the lot,
Address, please.
8 Central Ave.
Thank you.
And I hadn't seen this most recent plan. I have a plan from probably 3 months ago. I was just wondering about the screening behind. I have a fence beside there, and I was just wondering the screening. I haven't seen any of these new plans, like I said. So I was just curious about what the screening was.
Sure.
My backyard is in the back over here. So I didn't know if he was keeping any, I see he's keeping trees up by the road. I didn't know how high those bushes were going to be. I have a fence there, but I don't know if they're above the fence.
Sure. We'll get that answered.
Mr. Freeport's done a really nice job with landscaping his side over there between the arborvitaes he's put in and the fence. And our landscape plan is to put arborvitaes of significant height in order to create, we have almost a double row closer to where his home is to create a larger buffer. But he's done a pretty nice job himself already with what he's put out there.
So what size arborvitae are you intending to plant?
We have, according to the chart on here, the Leland cypresses, I've got over here, going to be at least 5 to 6 feet high, and over here, we're putting in I don't have a height, but I have that they're 5-gallon base, so they're going to be pretty good size. to start out. It's going to be a 5-gallon pot to start, so it's going to be a significant sized tree.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions about that? About the buffer, Sri?
The fencing that's along Sean's property, it's not shown on here, but is it on his property or is it shared on the property
It's
line?
actually on his property. I think
Okay.
it's about a foot over the line.
Foot over the line?
I think it's a foot onto Mr. Freeport's property. It's not on
Okay,
lot
good.
1.
Good, so there's no issue with
No, it's
shared
it's his fence.
All right, thank
And
you.
he has done a really nice job out there.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there anyone else here to speak on this application? No? Okay, so how does the board feel? Do you want to have some discussion, or do you want to close the hearing?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, so that was Paul and Ed, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then, do we need any discussion? I would think, just given the size again, that would probably be prudent to discuss. Jerry, do you have anything?
The only question, I don't know if you heard Sri was saying that it appears 6 months is usually standard, or at least
To the
in
board.
my
Yep,
mind.
yeah, so we're having,
To the
yeah,
board.
Yep,
Yeah,
discussion,
rather than the
yep.
4-month that
Yeah, I think that, he said that he would be,
amenable to.
yes, yep. I think that makes sense. Paul, do you have any?
No, I think it looks nice.
Yeah, I think it's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
TJ?
Good use of the property, it's a nice location.
And Ken?
I think they're doing as good a job as you can do if you're going to develop it.
Do you want a dumpster? How do you feel about that?
My feeling on the dumpster was that that might just provide a little more protection for the, if we have 4 units, we're going to have 4 sets of trash barrels out by the edge of the driveway, subject to being knocked over and blowing everywhere. I think a dumpster would be a good addition. And I also think the condition that was mentioned, that Jerry alluded to, where limiting the rentals is a good one to include. But, so that was, yeah, the short answer is yes,
Yes, you would like a dumpster?
I would.
Where would you propose to put it?
Well, I think Steve suggested a location for it, which I think is fine. I mean,
How does everybody else feel about that?
I think it should be left to the condo
I think
association.
that's, well, actually, I think that's about the only location you could to where the truck can drive in, dump it
Straight
back
and
out, and come back out. So
I think it
I
interferes
think you
with
may
the
have to change that,
proposed tree.
put it over a little bit, that one parking spot. I
So-
think that's the only place you could get it.
So Ed, you say let it be up to this,
I'd
the
go,
association?
let it go to the condo association where it's such a small, you're not going to generate, the dumpster would have to sit there for a month before it'd be full. That could
No,
be-
they're scheduled usually on weekly routes for a condominium.
I think it'd be trouble filling it up in a week.
it doesn't have to be full to be emptied.
No, but it's costly to the condo owners.
Do we have the option of saying they need to come back to us for administrative review if they want to put one in?
Yeah, I mean, I think the trouble with that is that they would just go ahead and put one in. I don't think that they would recognize any subsequent, the developer's here, so the developer's, aware that we're putting in that condition, but
I have mixed emotion about dumpsters when they're adequately emptied and things like that. They're not a problem, but they can be a nightmare. And I don't know if we have the authority to say they must be emptied weekly or bi-weekly.
we do.
Yeah, I have no opinion on it. I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I wouldn't want to see 8 barrels out at the curb either, but,
And-
you know.
It's a
I can
reasonable
understand it.
haul.
Yeah, I mean, I can
8
understand
plus
that.
the other ones for the people that live back there. So you're talking 10, 12
What about-
possibly.
Yeah, that's a lot of barrels out by the curb. There's
Oh.
no question about that. I'm fine with requiring a dumpster if the board thinks that makes sense, but, that's just my opinion.
TJ?
I'm with that, it's an added cost that the condo association can figure out whether they want to go ahead and do or not.
But that's the very reason why it makes sense for us as a board to protect the abutters and the neighborhood by insisting on it, because if we don't, it's likely not to be done, and
This
we're going
isn't
to
your
have this...
typical neighborhood street. You got two main streets right here with possibly 12 to 14 trash barrels right there.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
Does that speak to a dumpster then?
Yes, it does, I think.
yeah.
I mean, nobody wants that added cost, but you're moving into an association. You
Yeah.
want your property taken care of. You want your neighbors just as responsible as you are to take out that trash and bring in those barrels. That's
And
a
if-
busy area
and
to
if
have
you-
barrels out on the road.
And that's a heck of a haul also, to ask everyone to drag down their barrels all the way out there. So-
Well, and then you have barrels. I mean, either way, you're either gonna have a dumpster outside or you're gonna have barrels outside. I guess neither alternative's great.
I think a dumpster's better
But
for
we could
rodents.
ask for some screening around the dumpster, the
Yeah.
sides of it, maybe some arborvitae.
I
Yeah.
believe they've got the natural buffer right there that's
Yes.
going to remain.
I
So I
mean,
don't think you need to buffer it. I mean, the association can do it if they find it to be unsightly once it's done, but there is the natural buffer that is remaining.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have that landscape plan you could put up? I know the hearing's closed. You don't mind me asking him?
Not at all.
You may have to get rid of that one tree right there, but,
Or relocate it.
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
one duplex, I'd say no dumpster, but, you know, when you intensify a parcel and you get 4 houses on it, you know, it's not inappropriate to ask for trash containment. It really isn't.
And it's not as if they have to drag it to the end here, they
Yeah.
actually have to drag it down there.
You know, I know it adds a cost, but I think it's intense enough to have one, I guess.
Seems like a minimal added cost, given this isn't a high
Yeah,
kind of maintenance condo association by any means. There's,
I mean, I have a long drive, I know what I do with my barrel.
Uh-oh.
So it might sit there 3 days before I bring it back inside.
I was just going to say, don't share.
So I would lean in favor, we know Ken would lean in favor, Paul, you would lean in favor. So if we vote to approve it, would you, TJ and Ed, be on board with the majority of who are saying you would be in favor on that condition?
Yeah, I go along with it.
I'm not going to hold up the application.
Thank you, TJ. Okay, so generally, I think everybody else likes it. I think it makes sense in the neighborhood. Just wanted to mention the public good. I think obviously the creation of housing is always good, given everybody says that we need housing in this town. Business zoned area will not have adverse effects on the property. I think there's houses in this area, so that definitely certainly shows that even though it's business zone and there are businesses, and that those uses are not noxious to the multifamily, and obviously the density requirements are hit.
How
So
are
I-
how are they dealing with snow? Did we ask? We didn't ask. did
You can ask right now,
we? We closed the hearing, but...
but we can ask a pointed question, says our rules and regulations.
Snow removal will be included in the condominium budget. We'll contract with someone to come in. And part of the thing that we're agreeing to do is to make sure that we don't leave any snow on the driveway easement. We're not going to pile it back here to get in the way of the next couple of properties here. So this will all be cleaned up through here, and it'll be part of the condo budget.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. Okay. All right, so everybody's, I think, on board. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so that was Ed and TJ. So findings and conditions.
Findings you just did,
Okay,
some
so you
of
got-
them.
Yeah,
The business zone, and when you read
oh, yes, through the
business 3, no impact on the
requirements.
businesses, no impact on the
Yeah.
dwellings,
That they,
24216.
that they are providing for, let me say, I wrote down stuff as we went. Catch basins and drainage away from the wetlands.
So drainage appropriate according to plan?
Yes, that they are widening the driveway to 18 feet to assist in access. They're well under lot coverage and coverage by paving and structures. That the proposed dwelling units are all located in B3. even though the property is zoned agriculture and B3. They're maintaining that canopy of trees along the major roadways, and I think the landscape plan shows nice improvements along the property line too, that they're planting those arborvitae.
Do you want to add the rear property line where the abutter was to be a minimum of, I have no idea what a 5-gallon tree will grow to,
Well, we'll do it
It's
per
the
plant,
ball that goes in it, yeah.
I think, right?
but he didn't have it on the plan though, if I remember, he looked at the plan.
Well, he said five gallon.
The
and
5
then-
gallons are usually set 3 feet off center, and they are approximately 4 to 6 feet in height when you buy them, I believe, if they're
Okay, then they grow.
arborvitaes.
Okay.
That's usually what the normal landscape plans show for those. The ball could be the same size, but
Okay.
the board can condition it be 4 to
No.
5 feet in height when planted.
No, I'm not voting, I was just curious.
Testimony that there will be a condo association created. Testimony that applicant is amenable to 6-month minimum rental term. Total bedrooms, so it's 4 units, obviously, with 2 bedrooms each, so total bedrooms, number of bedrooms on the site is 8. Testimony that no dumpster was planned. How do you want to do that? We have to
Testimony
do-
is that they were amenable
Well,
to
sure.
conditioning a
I think that's
dumpster.
right.
That's a better way to say it. Any others?
Well, I think it's important to note that the association will be responsible, and it can be a finding, as well as a condition. All maintenance of the property, all snow plowing, and all trash.
Perfect. Anything else, or are we good?
Yeah.
Conditions per plans, but we need a,
Per site plan and
Per site
revised
plan.
landscape plan submitted.
yes. And do we have the revised architecturals? They put canopy in the front?
Yeah.
We do,
The canopy
okay.
shows on ours,
Don't-
doesn't it? I could have sworn it
That
does.
just came up, we'll submit them.
Thank you.
All right, so, okay, per plan.
Yeah, no, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I didn't get to that.
I think it
I
does.
was looking at the site plan.
Steve,
Me
do you
too.
mind stepping over to Ken Forman to see if those are the appropriate architectural, it's the elevation.
October 12th.
Yes, they do.
So, per plan, a revised landscape plan showing the dumpster that you're going to condition and the garage removed.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and still maintaining those 6. So even though they're adding the dumpster, maintaining the 6, whatever trees
Oh,
those
yeah.
are to the left.
Well, they might have to rearrange that one. but
Rearrange it, right, but,
That'll show in the landscape plan,
yes.
revised landscape plan.
Okay,
So, condition per plans
yes.
with, number 2 would be a revision of landscape plan showing dumpster and improved landscape. Okay.
So condition, then, do we want another condition that they will be installing a dumpster?
I
mean,
think
know that
that's
we
what
did
the
that on
consensus
landscape
was.
plan. Yes, yeah.
Well, we could put that as number 2, and number
Yeah.
2 is number 3. How's that?
They don't provide the dumpster, they provide the place for the dumpster.
Pardon me?
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the association.
Association
will
to make
rent
arrangements.
the,
Was that a condition? I didn't hear.
no, it was regarding the dumpster.
Okay.
Part of
And this-
maintenance, isn't it?
The sighting of the dumpster.
Oh, cited.
So the condition that mirrors the finding on the property will be responsible for trash, maintenance, snow plowing.
And for, well, make it,
A space for the,
well, so, yeah, so Ed's point is the developer's not necessarily providing the dumpster, the association will have to rent a dumpster, so we should condition it, I guess, that a dumpster be, that the association rent a dumpster and that all trash removal occur on
Exactly.
site.
I mean,
Yes,
you're going
yeah.
to condition the dumpster.
Mhm.
And the document, you're going to condition that the documents show that there will be an on-site trash pickup,
Perfect.
plowing, the whole bit. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And
That's
do you,
the-
do you want a copy of that? That'll be the master deed,
Yeah, they can submit that.
right?
Submit it once recorded.
And prior to the first certificate of occupancy? Or final?
Sure. So that might not necessarily be once it's recorded, but prior to first occupancy.
Right? Because that can be developed.
Mhm.
Okay. So, how are we going to word that one? Master deed. Steve knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the lighting, you're satisfied with just the lights at the doors, no light on the driveway?
Is everybody satisfied with that?
There's a utility pole there.
There's a light, I believe it's, yeah, is that where the street light is?
Yes.
Right. So I think that's good.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenyans will light it up pretty good.
And then, condition total number of bedrooms not to exceed 8 on the property.
And you put in the rental provision?
Oh, I don't know if we talked about that in terms of condition. No rental, period, less than,
So that should be
6
in the
months.
master deed as well?
Yes. Should be.
6, we settled on.
That works for you?
Works for me. I think
Okay.
Jerry said he thought that was the best.
Yes.
I'm not, question, discussion. You guys submit the proposed master deed so we can make sure this is in it? I mean, it-
Yes.
Asked for, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Prior
And
that
to
way-
we usually
occupancy.
let town council review it, or the board members can review it, whichever you like.
Whoever would like to. All right, so everybody all set?
Yes.
Okay, so that was Ed's motion to approve. TJ seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? No. So that was unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you just leave the plans here, guys?
Thank you.
Yay.
Ready, TJ?
Just a sec.
It's Mr. Ament, isn't it? Is Attorney Ament here, sir?
I don't see him,
This is his, right?
but he's probably watching it on TV right at his office.
Thank you. Oh,
Yes.
Roll, you want to get Bob on that? There he is.
oh,
Thank you.
thank you. So next item on the agenda is, if I could just ask everybody to refrain from speaking. If you want to speak, you can go out into the hall. Next item on the agenda is 18 Gunning Point Avenue, West Falmouth. It's application 9616.
Excuse me, and again, the door is blocked.
And again, if you could just move away from the doorway, we have seating in here,
West.
but please don't block the doorway.
Thank you.
I don't think that did much.
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that Charles Anthony DeCia, trustee of Somerville, Massachusetts, applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit pursuant to Sections 240-3C, 240-69E, and 240-23G of the Code of Falmouth to construct a below-grade two-car garage, creating additional habitable space that will increase non-conforming lot coverage on subject property is 18 Gunning Point Ave, West Falmouth, Massachusetts. And for referrals, from the fire department, no comment. Assessors, no comment. Conservation, control runoff stormwater on the property. This looks like it's from engineering. With the standard comment that it was reviewed for impacts to public rights-of-way and public utilities, and additional comments that they recommend dry wells, rain garden, or other stormwater measure for the roof, given the proximity to the abutting property. They also have a number of concerns regarding the existing driveways on the property. There's 3 driveway entrances, and they allow 2 maximum. They request that plans be revised to show 1 driveway to be abandoned and closed off to meet town standards. This will require a driveway permit from the engineering division. Second comment is that there's a non-structural stone retaining wall within the public right-of-way off the applicant's property. It's also a cobble apron at the base of the wall in the public right-of-way and against the roadway surface. There's a question, when was it built? They do not have a permit on record for it. Walls located within the rights-of-way can make snowplow operation difficult and hazardous. This particular wall is a hazard being so close to the roadway edge, and it doesn't appear to serve any any purpose except decorative landscaping. They request that the plans be revised to show the retaining wall and cobbles removed from the town's right-of-way. This work will require a driveway permit from the engineering division. Plans also show access to the garage will be via driveway number 3 on the attached figure. Driveway does not meet town standards. It's closer than 5 feet to the property line. They request that the driveway be relocated 5 foot off the property line, and again, driveway permit will be required. Plans also show alterations to driveway number 3. The work will require a driveway permit. More detail will be required for the permit. What materials will the driveway be? If impervious, driveway cannot slope towards the street. First 5 feet of the driveway must be a solid surface. Any cobbles used on a driveway apron must be a minimum of 1 foot off the roadway edge. And finally, the bushes between driveways number 2 and 3 impact sight distance exiting the driveways. The island is also located within the town right-of-way and is constructed of wood timbers and a cobble apron against the roadway surface, which does not meet town standards. They request that the plans be revised to show clearing the vegetation in the island, removal of the timbers and cobbles that are in the right-of-way. And there is also 13 letters of support of the project, 1 letter with no objections, and 1 letter with general concerns.
Thank you, TJ. Good evening again, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Beelan and members of the board. For your record, I'm Bob Iment. I'm an attorney, and I represent Charles and Molly DeChica, who are the applicants. I've had 1 hearing tonight. I have another one that people know about later. People should understand I'm not usually here every Thursday night. Fortunately, it's just coincidence. Well, the DeChicas have owned this property on Gunning Point Avenue since 1987. They've had the existing house there. It was built around 1985. And their proposal is to extend the house to have a 2-car garage on the lower level and a family room open to their existing present living room on the first floor. They're not creating a new separate room, and they're not creating any bedrooms. In addition to Dr. DeChica, who's here, and his wife Molly, who's here, David Siegel, their architect, is here, and Raul Lizardi Rivera from Holmes & McGrath, which did the engineering for this project. Dr. DeChica is an orthopedic surgeon. He has privileges at Falmouth Hospital and is working there covering shifts on weekends, and they're planning to move to Falmouth year-round, and they think this a new garage for their house and to make these improvements. The house presently has 22.2% lot coverage. The zoning bylaw presently allows 20% lot coverage, and that has been what it's been allowed since, I think, 2002. Before then, the allowed lot coverage by right was 35%. So when this house was built and when the DeChicas moved into it, it was, of course, conforming, 35% lot coverage. They have 22.2%. And the zoning bylaw provides that when you have a pre-existing non-conforming structure like this became as a result of the change in the zoning bylaw, you can come to the Board of Appeals to extend or change the nonconformance. And the standard for the Zoning Board of Appeals to follow in a case like this is whether or not the extension is substantially more detrimental or not. So the extension that's proposed is set back 39 feet from the street. Actually, that's to an open deck. The additional enclosed structure will be set back 55 feet from the street. From the southeasterly boundary of the property, there's a 43-foot setback proposed, and from the rear, the present corner of the house where the addition extends from is 18 feet away from the rear property line, and at an angle, that setback increases to 23 feet. The topography is such that the proposed garage is depressed so that it will be a full floor below the existing first floor of the house. It's actually lower because of the topography than the existing basement. You'll walk up some stairs from the garage into the basement and then some more stairs up to the first floor, and that's shown on the plans that have been submitted. David Siegel's plans show what's proposed in an area where presently there's quite a bit of deck. The garage would be at this level. This is the first floor level of the house facing Gunning Point Avenue. And this would be a family room above the garage with a flat roof, a proposed deck on top of the flat roof. Now, the height of the to the top of this railing above the deck is, from the average grade in front of the house, is only 17 feet high. Again, the garage is actually lower. This is only 17 feet high. This second floor bump out is this. It measures 12 by 8. It is not connected to the rest of the house on the second floor. It is accessed from the new room here by a circular stairway into this, and it's simply to provide access to the deck. So it's a fairly small area. And the height, proposed height of the ridge of a very short portion of that roof is 30 feet, so 5 feet below what's allowed. The increase in lot coverage is, as I've said, only 2.1%, less than a 10% increase in the existing lot coverage. And we think it will have no adverse impact whatsoever on the neighborhood or any individual neighbors because it is so significantly set back from the street and the side yards. Now, as you know, the zoning bylaw actually allows you to grant a special permit to increase lot coverage above 20% up to 25%. And there are criteria that are set forth in the zoning bylaw for you to consider. In this case, the application is filed also, and first really, under Section 240-3 of the bylaw, which is for changing non-conforming structures. And we think that we meet the standards. There are no new nonconformities being created. We're simply going from 22.1 to 24.2 on lot coverage. Lot coverage is nonconforming because of that zoning change. We're going to a figure that is below what you can allow by special permit under the special permit, but it is not a new nonconformity. We don't think there will be any impact on views or vistas, which is also to be considered by the board. There'll be no adverse impact at all, certainly from the street. The support for this project by neighbors is indicative of what the neighborhood thinks about this. I do know that neighbors to the rear who are present tonight, and I'm sure will want to speak to you, are concerned about the possible effect of this project on their home to the rear, which is set back more than 60 feet from where the proposed addition is going to be, and there's significant vegetation, and they've submitted a photo which we think actually proves the point that you hardly will see this addition at all. Yes, the existing house is a large house, fairly tall. It's the maximum height of 35 feet, and certainly is very visible from their backyard. The addition will be much, much less so at most of the year, I think. By now, we've got leaves down, but the photograph that was taken this week and submitted, I will show that to you in detail after the neighbors speak, really shows how little of the addition will be visible from that house. The zoning bylaw does not protect neighbors against being able to see their neighbor's house. It just doesn't. And that's, at most, that's what's happening in this case, and it will be very little view, in fact, that will be visible. There are no curb cut changes that are required for this project. We won't be touching any of the curb cuts. This is a application of the Board of Appeals under 240-3, and the town engineer's comments or suggestions about making a variety of changes to the public way are really not apt, and they're really out of place. The features that are in the street layout were installed more than 20 years ago, working with the town, because there was such a significant water problem in front of the house, and the town vehicles were actually, and everybody was going onto the Chico's driveway and going around the street. Drainage was installed, and the retaining wall was put in to keep water off of their property. Regardless of the history of it, we aren't doing anything to the street. And if you go down Gunning Point Avenue, or if you even look right across the street, the same situation exists with stone walls, hydrants, massive stone posts with mailboxes on them, and trees that are within the town layout. Every time someone comes to the Board of Appeals with the right to do so, seeking the kind of relief that we're asking tonight to make a change to the property, it doesn't mean it's time to revisit everything about the property which has nothing to do with the application that's before the board. There will be a new septic system installed on the property. It will be an improvement over the existing septic system. If you have any questions, Mr. Siegel or Mr. Lizardi Rivera, or I'll try to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Ahmed. Jerry, do you want to get started?
So, I mean, your testimony is that it's not uncommon for residents to have things in the public right-of-way because of historic nature of that.
Well, I didn't actually talk about the commonality of that throughout the town. I simply said that the present situation has existed for decades, that the town has known about it, the town has replaced the drainage in the street. That's the reason for this, including working on it in the last couple of years. That if one has to, because one doesn't have to remove the trees and post boxes and everything else that people put in the public way. Traffic is not impeded, and there's never been a problem with snow plowing as a result of what's in front of this property, never. And the DeChicos have been there for going on 30 years. All I'm saying is that this is not the occasion for the Board of Appeals to try to upgrade everything in that public way to address what the engineering department suggests is a problem but exists all over.
You all set? Paul?
No, I'll save it for board discussion.
Okay.
Almost at that.
Okay. TJ?
Attorney Alman, what's the intended basement use?
Well, the basement isn't changing at all, and it will be just as I described it in correspondence to the board when the zoning administrator asked me that question. Now all I have to do is remember what I said. There is some workspace, there's a laundry, there's a family room in the basement with a television and I think an exercise area. How am I doing? And there's no change to that space at all. All that's changing is that there are two exterior windows which are going to be blocked up because of the garage there, and a new door is going to be installed into the basement from the garage.
Thank you.
All set? Ken?
So you submitted also here a list of the properties in the neighborhood ranked by their gross building area.
I did. I did submit what would be required for an application.
Bob, let me get to my question.
Yeah.
So this ranks fourth at 6,463 based on that. Is that after the addition or before the addition?
No, those are the town's figures for the present layout. So there's no question that it's one of the larger houses in the neighborhood, although the houses that are being built now along the water are really very substantial.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the area.
Okay.
So what will it be after the addition?
I actually am not sure about that figure. I guess the square footage of that additional family room. Do you have a quick? Working on it. Other than that, it's the garage, a two-car garage.
Okay.
But the issue, although the application could be approved under Section 240-23D, we submit that this is a 240-3 application and that the standards of that section are what apply to this proposal. The fact that this is a large structure, totally legal when it was built, leads us to need a special permit to make it just a little bit larger. It was only 2/3 of what it was allowed to be when it was built. And the bylaw requires you to look at the impacts of the extension. We aren't going back and looking at the fact that this is a 35-foot tall building, and we're not increasing the number of bedrooms in the house.
Okay, so you've answered another one of my questions, which was the bedroom count. Remains the same. And if I'm reading the plan correctly, and I just wanted your confirmation on this, the addition is at 30 feet height.
Only to this point, and so it's a very small portion of it.
Point is, it's lower than the existing
Yes,
highest
it is.
point in the house, the ridge at 35 feet.
Correct.
And did we get a number?
Yeah, family, for the record, I'm David Siegel.
If you could just speak at the microphone so people at home can see you. Thank you.
For the record, I'm David Siegel. The family room is 624 square feet of additional space. The garage below is about 702 because it has a little workbench area.
So 600 and
24,
plus 702?
yeah, for the lower floor.
All of that adds to the footprint or a portion of it?
Just, the footprint is only the 702.
Okay.
because-
And the increase in footprint is only 274 square feet, because we are removing existing structure.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. So about 200 and...
Exactly 274, as exact as
274, so that...
rounding.
Okay. Good. Thanks.
You're all set, Ken?
Yeah.
Or you have other questions?
Not right now.
Okay. So Ken touched on the bedroom count. It's 6 right now? Is that true?
I think that's right. You know, it has to do with how you define a bedroom. There are rooms like an exercise room that aren't used as a bedroom, but we want to be sure that the septic system, when we install it, is large enough for the number of rooms in the house that could be used as bedrooms.
So-
In theory, that meet the definition under the state environmental code.
So I guess that leads to the question, the septic system that you will be installing will be able to accommodate how many bedrooms under the code?
It's a 6-bedroom system, and as you probably know, under Title V, the size of a septic system, once you have more than 8 rooms in a house, isn't based on bedrooms, but on the number of rooms in the house. We're putting in a 6-bedroom septic system, so there's no question that it's adequate.
Thank you. You're removing the existing shed?
Yes, it's a large shed that's close to the line, and would be pretty sure that it's non-conforming. It's about 10 feet from the line, so it may not be non-conforming, but we're removing it.
And then, could you talk about so it's labeled, that was labeled as storage to the right of the front elevation?
Do you mean this?
Yes, I do mean that.
It might have been a garage at one time. It measures 10 feet by 20. As you can see, it's got a almost flat roof, and it's just used for storage. There are no automobiles parked in it, and I'm not sure, well, you probably could fit a modern vehicle in there, but it's a rather pitched access to it if you've been to the site. It's all fenced in. You actually can't see that structure from the street because it's fenced in and it's just used for storage. It does, however, even though it's only this one-story structure, doesn't seem to bother anybody. It is 220 square feet and I just point that out because if you took that away, and I'm not suggesting there's any reason one should take it away. It doesn't harm anybody. It's useful storage space. And you made the deck smaller. I mean, you'd be at 274 right away at the same square footage that we have now. All which is to say, we are not increasing the lot coverage very much.
Was there any thought given to removing that structure? It's 4 feet from the property line.
It would be, it would mean that there would be less storage. It's a useful thing. It doesn't bother the owner on that side. You have a note from the owner of the property abutting that they're in favor of this application. So we don't want to remove it.
Okay. I know you kind of just glossed over the engineering comments. Did you, I guess, give any consideration to what they suggested? They touched on a
We
number.
did. I don't think I really glossed over it. I think I criticized it strongly. It is inappropriate for the town engineer to be making that kind of recommendation in a case like this. And I respect Scott Schluter tremendously. He does a great job. He's earnest, and he's trying to do the best for the town. But it's this board's job to make the decisions based on the legal requirements that you operate under. And there is no reason whatsoever that the issues that Mr. Schluter has raised should be a factor in whether this proposed addition is or is not more detrimental to the neighborhood or the town. It has nothing to do with the conditions in the street that have existed that way for a good reason. And even though they can't find a permit, Dr. DeChica thinks it was all approved by the town 30 years ago.
Okay. And then, just want to make sure I got, this concrete pad that's showing the back of that storage of the, it's on the right, it's on the site plan, shows a concrete pad
Yep.
down there. That's still remaining in place?
I've been out there. I don't know what its original purpose was. We're not proposing to remove it.
Okay.
Again, I'm not sure what good it does, but
Well, it removes some
doesn't seem
lot
to
coverage.
make any difference.
Okay. All right. Let me see if anybody else has any questions, other questions. Sari, do you have any?
No, I don't, thank you.
Okay. Let me see if there's any
Could I
public.
have
Yeah.
another question?
Sure.
Would you say that the proponents have an adverse possession right to have that stone wall on public right-of-way, because it's been there for 10 years?
Well,
or more?
I'm not saying that. I'm not taking any position on that whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm not sure that if the town decided that it was going to go down a Gunning Point Road and
What's
all
that
the other
about?
streets in Falmouth and remove all the stone walls that extend into the layout, that we could do anything about it.
Thank you.
I'm not saying we couldn't either.
I understand it.
Okay, is that it for questions? Yeah. Okay, so is anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Is anyone here to speak in opposition to this application? Just stand and provide your name and address.
I'm here with my husband, Raymond Hazel. He's really sick today, so I'm talking on it for both of us. We live.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Elizabeth Hazel.
Thank you.
And Raymond Hazel, and we live at 17 Langley Road, and we're saying we're the only abutter that is truly impacted by this proposed extension or addition. Our concern is we've lived there now for about 6 years, and the current property, which maybe it didn't do justice, and oh, by the way, I apologize if we sent our material in late because I didn't know about the 7-day lead time. Do you have the picture, or?
Yes, we do.
It's in the file.
You do have the, okay. And maybe the picture doesn't do justice, because when you sit on our back deck, which is approximately about 25 feet from their property, it just sort of overshadows you, and but it's slightly to the left, so you can try to like angle your body so you're not really sort of directly looking at it. We also have our outdoor shower back there. There have been times I've actually been concerned, like, oh gee, I really hope no one's really can see anything. So our concern is that this current structure already overshadows our backyard and deck, and to extend it, we're really concerned it's going to impair our use, our privacy, vista, and airflow. So, and the height is more of the concern. We're talking about 30 feet here against the 35 feet of the existing structure. That is more of our concern than even the garage. I mean, we don't, it sounds like they definitely need a garage or want a garage, but it's the extra sort of closure in and feeling more boxed in, and really sort of, really negates the ability to use our backyard, is our concern. I find it interesting that by affixing the garage to the current property, it sort of avoided the height restriction of 18 feet if it had been a separate structure. So, and I know that there are a lot of other people here, they've got tons of support from other people, but I don't think anybody else is really impacted by this. You heard it's 50 feet setback from the road. I just heard for the first time, the design I have has the property between 11.9 and 18 feet. So that could be an incorrect design, or, I mean, I have something that's not.
No, he said the proposed addition ends up being 23 feet, but at the closest point to the house, it's 18 feet to the property line.
Okay, so the
The other
proposed
place,
will be-
11.9, is not where they're building, it's the 18 to the 23-foot point.
Okay, so it is, but the 18 is there, okay. So, so I really don't think that anybody else has that much impact on their use and privacy as we do. And would just like to request if we could just have the garage and not the additional room on top of it. And I guess that's really, the lawyer, we did hire a lawyer, and he went through all the sort of zoning codes and things like that, which I think you have in the letter. So do you have any questions from?
Let me see. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
No? Ken or TJ? No? Okay. I don't either. Thank you.
Okay.
Is anyone else here to speak on this? No? Okay. All right, do you want to have some board discussion? I know, Paul, I'll ask you first, since you said you have something.
Yeah, just the comment from engineering surprises me as well. There's literally thousands of these sorts of things in the public rights of way, and if the town's that upset about it, they could direct the town attorney to take action. But I don't think that, through the select board, of course, but, this has existed for over 20 years, and I just don't think it's appropriate at all to require that it be removed. And I do more or less follow the fact pattern that was represented, that it was probably done that way for some sort of a puddle that was there or something, and these agreements are made probably informally or formally with the DPW, and that's what happens. But, I'm totally opposed to requiring that be removed. I think that's totally unreasonable. But that was all.
Thank you. Do you have any feelings or sentiments about what the neighbor just said?
Not really.
Okay. Jerry?
No, I listened to what Paul said, I can understand it, but I think you may make progress one by one, lot by lot. I mean, if it's possible, I'm not a voting member, I would have objected to that stone wall not being pushed back to the property line. And I understand fully what everybody's saying. The town is full of wrong roadway layouts and other things. You have an opportunity probably to correct it. We should, but if, we'll see what the board recommends.
Ed?
I don't have any big concerns with the house, with the addition on the house. And as far as the encroachment on the street, separate issue.
Okay. What about on this side, TJ and Ken?
Angel first?
Well, I guess, I think it is a tastefully done addition, taking advantage of the topography on the lot. They're staying below the current ridge line, which I appreciate. And when all is said and done, they've increased the footprint from 6.463 to 6.737, which is not enough to change its ranking relative to all of the existing homes that are there. So it's a fairly significant footprint on the lot. The lot's probably a little smaller than some of the other lots that are out there. We actually didn't ascertain the lot size, but
Sure, it's on the plan.
It's in there.
I looked for it in the plan, I didn't see it.
Oh,
13,055 square feet.
Okay,
thanks, Jerry.
thanks for finding it.
Yeah, I can't find it.
It's on the back of the lot. See the back property line?
So, anyway, the bottom line is I don't have a whole lot of heartburn over this. I think it's okay.
TJ?
Not concerned about the engineering referral. going back that many years, Paul's right, it might have been done somewhat informally. To Attorney Ahmed's point, to control the stormwater runoff on the street. I agree with Ken that it is a tasteful project. It's a good spot to put the garage there and with the addition on top of it. Although I am a little concerned with the abutter toward the back. We do have to take views and vistas into account, and it's rare that an abutter actually shows up to these hearings and voices their concerns.
Yeah, we just hop bump, it's what Cerise said, views and vistas from roadways, so not necessarily from somebody's backyard.
Unless they have a
View easement.
a view easement of some kind.
Right.
There's been none submitted.
Yeah, I'm generally in favor of this. I certainly empathize with the neighbors next door. But from a zoning perspective, I don't think that this is substantially more detrimental. I would have liked to see, but no one seems to care about it, the storage on the other side and the concrete pad on, because to me you have a 4-foot setback on that side. I know it's existing, but it just seems they're getting so much more on this left side of the front elevation that they could give a little bit over here, increase the setback. They're getting now 2 garages, or 2, garage stalls where they previously didn't have any. To me, I think that's a way to make the project kind of more palatable, as far as you'd be getting something here, you'd be increasing the setback. You might even be breaking even on lot coverage, but if no one else feels strongly about that, then...
Well, it sounded like nobody knows what that concrete pad is for.
Well, the concrete pad is for a total lot coverage, which is in compliance.
No, I understand.
Oh.
But purpose of it, what its use is.
Oh. Well, why does that matter?
Can I speak to it?
Sure, yeah, just if you could,
I believe the concrete pad...
could you just state your name and address just for the record?
I'm Charles DeCecca, and I'm a resident at 18 Gunning Point.
Thank you.
Behind that shed, there is a cement pad that extends back and runs along the side of the house. And it was placed there so that when you exited the cellar exit from the house, that you wouldn't have to walk through mud and debris to get into the garage, and that there would be a surface there that was appropriate to walk over. So it was placed just for that purpose, and nothing else.
Ken, do you have any follow-up questions?
No, I mean, that's a good explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so if no one else has any issues with that, I will cede the point, but let it be duly noted, it was a good idea to get rid of it. All right, so does everybody generally feel comfortable?
Okay.
Is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so that was Ed and Ken. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we obviously just discussed how we generally feel about it. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll move that we approve it.
Second it.
Okay, so that was Ken and then Ed that time. So findings and conditions. Finding that it's not substantially more detrimental under 240-3. But I think we should also know, Attorney Ahmed noted that it's under the 25% that we would be able to grant a special permit for pursuant to 240-69.
I'll do a finding noting that when it existed, it was 35%. So it was not conforming by that.
Thank you.
I'd like to have a
And
finding,
setback.
finding with respect to the island and the other, the retaining wall in the road layout, that the testimony of the applicant was that this served to remediate some flooding issues.
Testimony was possible reason? Because there was
Yes.
no, okay.
Right? Because I think we need to justify why we're not going with the
And it's
recommendation.
existed for several years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think more than several years.
Many, many years?
Many, many,
Decades.
many years.
Decades.
Yeah, but that doesn't justify it. But if it's there, if it's serving a useful function.
Right. The testimony was it's existed for several years, and its function was possibly for that.
I think that's a better explanation, given, the town engineer may disagree, but we're just saying we found the testimony of Mr. Mott compelling.
Goes back to
Yeah.
when it was built.
All right, got it.
Finding that 6 bedrooms to remain 6 bedrooms. Finding that they're installing a new septic system too. Oh, removal of existing shed.
A finding that I think a relative rank in terms of its gross building area remains unchanged.
Yes, yep.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
So it currently is the 5th largest on this list that was submitted, and it remains the 5th largest after the addition. So,
No substantial change.
I guess that makes it in keeping
With the neighborhood.
with the neighborhood.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
relatively modest footprint increase, and that, I would also have a finding as to the proposed height, is that it's
30 feet
30 feet, just for that kind of small area,
under existing 35 feet.
yes. Anything else?
24216.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah, do we want to know, I mean, there was one person who spoke in opposition, obviously, but there were also 13 letters in favor from the neighborhood.
Well, that, her opposition will be noted in the decision.
Thank you.
Can I add something to that?
No,
Hearing's
hearing closed, public hearing.
So conditions for plans?
Yeah.
Removal of shed, which I know is per plans anyways.
I think that's it. The plans are pretty
Good.
detailed.
Do we need to condition number of bedrooms?
You can still condition 6 bedrooms. The flow is 660, so it states right there that
Okay, we'll condition it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
so that was Ken's motion and Ed seconded it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? So that's unanimous. Thank you. How's everybody doing in break? Yeah. We're gonna take a short break.